I just always need to ask to make sure that people are okay with it. I don't want to like sneak up in the room and be like, I need to put this somewhere.
Put it anywhere.
I'm gonna put it here. I just don't want the thing to be in the photos, otherwise it's like, it's appeared a few times. It's quite funny though, like looking at the pictures and like, this is my phone. Yeah. Did you say you were first year?
Yeah.
How's that going? Well, like just in general, like your experience in Salamash and stuff.
What, doesn't it seem first year?
No, it's not that it doesn't seem first year. I'm just like curious, because everybody has like different ways of experiencing their time here, especially when they're coming from somewhere else.
Yeah.
I mean, like I lived here. I still live here, so for me, it's like every day is the same.
You've not seen anything else.
It's
It's
have.
just your normal.
It's just like I'm used to like the general environment and what things are like. Speaking Indian soon. Just need to get this thing on.
Sure. Seems like such complex process.
It's not really, it's just like finicky, actually. Just to make sure that nothing slips out. The thing is ruined, because if it's ruined, I can't really do anything.
Have you found more participants?
Slowly but surely, I'm like actively looking, but I also don't want to like rush ahead of time, because then it's like, okay, cool, so we can do this thing, and then I wait like a month before getting contact again, because I'm busy working on other things. I kind of almost take it one at a time.
Okay.
It also feels like I get more chance to actually like
Engage.
yeah. I don't know if you're gonna look at this thing. It's quite fun though.
It's huge.
It's got this like screen.
Okay. Yeah, that's quite interesting.
And everything's back to front. It's a nice way of. I don't know if
Seems very retro.
it is though. It's from like the 50s, I think. Yay! I think this is the first time I'm actually shooting in proper light.
Really?
Usually it's so dark,
Wow.
and I have to work so hard to get the pictures, but now I can actually.
It's funny because we're actually going through a phase of keeping everything serviced.
Yeah.
So, just this one.
Okay. please. Thank you.
Pause.
Yeah, it'll be fine. I'm actually going to move this somewhere closer because you seem to be quite soft-spoken. Hopefully it doesn't get in the way. So there's no way of... Is it gives in your bed?
Let's chill.
There's no way of really like doing this or getting into it. Like I said, I mean, it is quite open, and I think that's quite nice about it. But I think a nice way of maybe just starting a conversation or whatever it is. Maybe if you could speak a bit about a bit about like how you identify in general.
Okay. So, I guess in general, so it's weird because I'm also kind of like just sort of re-exploring my own identity.
Okay.
So currently I would say that I'm sort of non-binary, gender fluid.
Okay.
And I'm trying to think of what that would mean sort of for my sexuality.
Like meaning your sexual orientation? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like specifically for me, it's sort of, I do a lot of things if they make logical sense. So,
well,
so for me,
I would hope that most people are like that.
yeah, apparently not. So I'm trying to just still figure that out, but generally I'm attracted more to men.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a logical implication for me that if I identify as non-binary, then I shouldn't necessarily have the sexual preference.
Well, maybe, I don't know. It obviously depends on person to person. Like,
Yeah.
I think just because you are non-binary doesn't mean that you shouldn't have a specific preference. Like, what you're attracted to sexually doesn't necessarily have to conform to
the
like how you are, like in terms of your gender expression or whatever. That's just my opinion.
No, that's one of the things that I'm trying to like make sense of at the same time. So, like one of the interesting things I want to do then is to actually do research and see how people that identify as non-binary do sort of identify sexually, and if there is some sort of correlation, or even if like there isn't, to then try and figure out what the best possible, I guess, sexuality would be, as weird as that is.
It's a really interesting way of going about it. But I suppose, I mean, you said you're studying, is it sociology or international studies?
Social dynamics and sociology is one of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're very much in that kind of frame of mind in
Yeah.
general, and just like engaging with people.
Yeah.
But it's interesting hearing what somebody's like, or somebody wants to do research to kind of figure out their own. Although I guess everyone does research in a way, whether it's like more academic or more like open, like I'm a YouTuber tonight.
Yeah.
Which, like, I'm pretty sure like any queer individual, or like the majority of queer individuals who have academics or whatever, that's like your go-to spot to find some sort of affirmation or something for like your own identity. I mean, just speaking from my own experiences, like before coming out.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
Watching
you're
all
on that
those
YouTube video.
freaking YouTube videos, like, I mean, you get so sad and happy, but sad. It's confusing.
Yeah, it's very weird. It's also, I think, the whole thing of unlearning what you've sort of been taught as being wrong. So I think it's a lot sort of got to do with that as well.
Yeah.
And I guess me trying to sort of research it in a sort of academic way is basically trying to find some validation outside of myself in a weird way that kind of would make it more normal. Does that makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess, that's me and my identity.
I mean, it's very interesting. Especially, how did you matriculate last year?
Yeah.
Okay. I find it interesting, especially when there is people that are younger, like 18, 19, that are already kind of, I don't want to say advanced in the way that they kind of understand their identity or express their identity, but it is, I think especially in South Africa, it's not something that you're used to seeing. Just like in my experience of like people that I've met, it tends to be that people only really kind of get into like the specifics of their identity and questioning it and exploring it and kind of reforming it once they are necessarily older. But that's just maybe where I come from and what I've experienced.
No,
So
I think that's generally like people don't actively sort of check whether their identity like makes sense to them anymore. I think like after it's very much like I'd say it's almost as if like when you're born, it's the same kind of process. So like weird metaphors, but like you're born again when you come out.
Well, you are. It's cheesy, but you are.
And then after that, you just go on as if you were like a man or a woman, and you just sort of you stay within that frame of mind, much as if you were a normal sort of cishet person. I think that's basically what happens. So you socialize yourself then after that to sort of, I don't know if it's being gay or being.
You do. I always like just thinking back, like I used to waiter at Julian's, and there's this group of guys that used to hang out there, but they were very much like open and in a sense kind of stereotypically gay, and I was attracted to that. Like I wanted to talk to them and spend time with them because at that stage I wasn't out yet, so I became quite friendly with them and kind of knew them on a first name basis, and then every time they were there we'd have like a discussion, and then the one guy would like constantly tease me, and he's like, because I think at that stage I was like, and then the one guy was like, no, you're totally gay. It's like, no, how dare you tell me you're gay? Don't be this way, come on, be nice. And he's like, I'm waiting for the day until you're like out and proud and walking down the street in full drag, and it happened. And I kind of lost track of thought. I was going to make a point for that. Damn it. That's such a good point. Oh well.
There's sort of an expectation, and I think a lot of people sort of they feel the need to live up to it.
I know what I wanted to say. Yeah. So just in the way of like, I wasn't open to the ideas of like being gay. Not that I think that there is a way of like being gay. I mean, gay is gay is gay is gay when you kind of like act in like more kind of generalized stereotypical ways, or whether you're not. It's still gay. And at that stage I was very much kind of, I think, afraid of being like perceived as gay, or like being stereotypical in any way. So the thought of being ever so slightly more kind of flamboyant, or in my dress, or in my speech, or in my mannerisms, or in the things that I do from day to day, or what I look at, what I talk about, it terrified me. And so I think there is a correlation in terms of how one identifies and how one acts, but it's not necessarily so confined to like the generalized kind of stereotypical perceptions thereof.
Yeah, I guess.
I get that it's a complicated statement to make, because you can't define it. You can't put it into any like specific category. But I guess I think that's one of the cool things about queerness in general, is that it is so fluid. It's difficult to talk about.
Difficult to understand. Box.
And you can't categorize it. It shouldn't be categorized. But unfortunately, the way that people speak, you have to name something. You have to situate it in a context or whatever, so that it can kind of create meaning or whatever. And I think that's why, I'm going on a whole different tangent now. Sorry.
It's fine. This is like first term philosophy, which I need to study anyway. So.
I'm glad I can help, I guess.
But yeah, I definitely get that. I guess it comes down to stuff like performativity and. It is.
There it is, performativity.
Yeah. Happens on both sides. But it's cool.
I'm actually in the wrong spot. I should be sitting right here.
Where you want to be?
No, it's just I shouldn't be in the sun with the lens because it's gonna look nice. So yeah, sorry, I'm talking very much like I'm making the assumption that you are like completely out.
Yeah.
Okay, you are. When did you come out, if you don't mind me asking?
End of grade 11, so 2 years ago.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
You have longer than I have.
Oh.
Well, I mean, I've been out for a long time, but like officially out of like my family.
Okay, what's officially out? Because
No, like naming it. It's be like
shit.
Be like mother, I am gay.
Oh yeah.
You know. So, okay. I'm getting caught up in one of those questions. I shouldn't. So, I don't know if you're comfortable talking about your like experience or in terms of like coming out.
Okay, that's very chill because like I've possibly had like the most relaxed sort of journey. So as I said, I came out at the end of grade 11, and so I was at a boys' school.
Yep, me too.
And so I was kind of, so the thing is like I'm a very active person, I get involved, and so I had all of these like positions and sort of places that I was in, and I specifically I guess did that because I wanted to sort of have power in a way, or status or whatever, so that like
You can't be questioned or
basically I was feeling myself very much sort of masculine. Grade 8, like people had suspicions, and then I kind of like completely like changed my sort of perception of myself that people might have gotten, so much so that when I eventually did come out, people were like, are you sure, like legit? So that was funny. But besides that, so then I did come out eventually, and it was quite cool because then like a lot of my sort of friendship group was already like formed, because so I came out in grade 11, like beginning of matric, so a lot of my friendships were like really good already, and I sort of didn't have sort of the pressure from like people like wanting to bully you or whatever, because like I'd already sort of gained some sort of recognition, and also I sort of like was in matric, so no one was going to say anything, because boys' schools, like if you're in matric, then you are God.
yes. Well,
A demigod at least. So that was chill. So like all of last year was really cool, and my mom was very like supportive. And she was like, oh yeah, like I kind of knew this already, like, so she was so chill. And yeah, like those were like basically the only people that I really had to tell. I felt like my mom was the only person I had to tell, and then sort of like close friendship group. And so I told him, and that was that. And then after that, I just lived my life, and I was happy.
that's cool.
And I've kind of just made random proclamations on Facebook every now and then to remind people.
Hi.
Yeah.
Sorry, I feel like I'm getting way too comfortable on your bed.
No, it's really fine. I don't mind. Go for it.
So yeah, did you find that you had like that in a way you had almost like a second coming out, coming to some margin this time of the year, because you already kind of established your moving somewhere else and kind of having to re-establish I think new friendships and new spaces that you navigate.
It was
like
different only because I was kind of like solidly like this is who I am, so it was very easy for me to just like tell people. Like I think I told my roommate like on the first day, I was like, and it was chill, so that was cool. And like so it was very easy. It was far easier. It wasn't like you coming out and have to like pretend. It was just I was living my truth and I was gonna tell it. Like we're gonna be this way. And so it was very short.
cool.
And I guess
It's
also
nice to
like
hear.
I don't fit a lot of the stereotypes, or like I guess I still do a lot of what is considered male things or whatever. Well, besides now, like there's some like wearing nail polish or
So you got a new coat that's already chipping.
it's chipping. It's true. It's been on like a minute. But anyway, so it's been showed like that because in many ways like I'm not completely like I guess different as to what is considered gay and straight. So I guess I get accepted a lot easier, if that makes any sense. But like definitely when I'm speaking about issues or if I speak about sort of sexuality, then like I guess it's better received. It's very weird. Yeah.
That's strange. So, just the way that I understood that is like people are more likely to accept your identity if you're opinionated.
If you're opinionated and you sort of still act what is considered normal or heteronormative.
Oh, okay.
So I have a phrase that I use for a lot of the issues on sort of in Stellenbosch. So it's basically, it's okay if you're gay, if you're straight. Like, it's okay to be gay if you're straight.
Okay.
Hey.
Hi.
Oh, welcome.
I need you to see something.
Wow.
Of urgency. Sorry.
Okay. No worries.
You can actually come to my untidy room as well if you want to.
Guess I'll come with.
What?
What the hell is the name of this thing?
Yeah, when I opened the windows it was...
Hello.
Oh. I was like, this is me, I get out of bed, I'm like, okay, what's going on?
Wait, why is this so significant though?
I don't know, like, I'm actually shocked.
Why are you shocked?
Very.
I thought the world was ending, like...
I think the world is ending, sorry. I'm NG, by the way.
Hi, I'm Strauss. It's
Nice to meet you.
I didn't know that Facebook is such a relevant, important thing.
Well, it's not. I deleted mine actually off my phone. I was just like,
I was
bored.
never ready, MG. I was never ready. Wow, okay.
Since when though are they vibing?
Well, since you put out an advert, I guess.
Well,
Maybe
I'm still
it's just a
downloading
gimmick.
anime.
That's fine. I'm gonna go finish my interview thing, discussion, talk, meeting, session.
Bye. Sorry.
This is an interesting. Just yeah.
Go down this way.
Let me go visit the.
So, do you know him through like Haze Fisted or
Yeah.
okay, so he's not like somebody from school.
No, it's really good.
I would get so annoyed if people could just like randomly barge into my room and be like, oh hi. You need to know this now. Gosh, it's funny. Put that back there. I can't remember what we were talking about. It's fine though.
Oh yeah, that.
Okay, cool. I need a photograph actually. I've been talking more than taking pictures.
Okay.
Which isn't a bad thing, but I also need the pictures.
Okay.
I'm gonna, I think, just stand around here.
Okay, do you want me to move?
You can stay there. Just face more my way.
Okay.
Okay, I need to do this then. Otherwise, I'm not gonna do things correctly. Doing a light measurement. Yeah, it's possible. Yes. I don't think you realize like difficult situations that I've had to photograph, and it's always like.
Well, I mean,
It's-
people walking in.
Well, that's fine though. I'm talking like about like the light that's available, so I can actually like
Yeah.
see stuff. It's been like with some of the rooms, it's been so dark, and I'm sitting there like, okay, please don't blur, please don't blur. Let there be something. But anyways, completely lost my train of thought. Oh, you mentioned this thing is like it's okay to be gay
Oh,
if
yeah.
you're straight. So necessarily acting in a cisgendered heteronormative way, but still being gay.
That's fine, completely.
In Stellenbosch.
Well, yeah, I think in Stellenbosch, and I think a lot of people as well.
Or maybe
Generally.
just maybe explain that statement, like in relation to what. So, is it a way of like passing in everyday life?
Yeah, I guess it's very much the same with race as well. Like it's okay to be black if you're white. It's
Oh, okay.
literally the same
Yeah.
sort of idea. Like as much as you've been sort of, if you're socialized enough to still be acting in a way that's considered fine or straight or
Yeah.
okay or even civilized, for example, like that's fine. That's okay. Then you
Yeah.
can be whatever
Just be
you want to.
civilized.
Just be civilized or like don't like overtly like kiss someone or like don't, I don't know, like express your sexuality in a way that you feel like doing it. So yeah.
Maybe just. So, but you mean like that's what it's like in Stellenbosch? Because obviously it's not a good thing.
Yeah, no.
It's not. It's just the way that you're explaining it. It might. It kind of comes across as. Never mind. I understand. I agree.
Yeah, that's the
I'll just
easiest
try and
way for me
explain.
to summarize it.
Trying to explain that, and I was just like, ooh, okay. So
And that's
I do agree with that. It's like, and it's difficult because, like, I used to be very much like that. Until I came out, and then slowly but surely,
Yeah, because
You
you
kind
kind of feel more comfortable. You wanna.
yeah, it's like, okay, well, now people know, so if people can recognize that, then, well, fuck it.
Yeah.
And that's cool. So initially, it was just like, sorry. Initially, I would be afraid of like expressing myself in a certain way, but now I don't really care, and if it really pisses you off, if it really bothers you, good.
Yeah.
Like, come tell me that it pisses you off. Tell me that you're angry about the fact that I'm gay and you don't agree with that. Like, let's have this discussion
Let's
now.
have a- yeah, let's talk about it.
Let me teach you.
Hashtag Gay Lessons 101. Yeah, no. But yeah, but like, So I think a lot of like problems that happen aren't really like people don't really like confront them. So like people don't like come to you and like, okay, like I have a problem with you or something like that. Like
they'll stay quiet.
they're
and
rather
they'll internalize it.
these little things that they'll do that you pick up on, and then you're like, oh, okay. Yeah. So I guess that's a lot of also what I've experienced is people trying to hide like their own like feelings of like sort of either homophobia or like just general like being problematic.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, so you pick up on the little things, or at least I do.
What would you do? I think in some way people can get quite like just in terms of how I kind of experience things is you also become used to a certain way of being treated and whatever, so you do in a way become blind sometimes. It's not like that for everyone, and some days I'm more aware, some days I'm not. It also depends on how in what mood I am that day. If I'm in a good mood, great, let's have a talk. But if I'm in a bad mood, all I want to do is just kind of go about what I need to do and not be confronted, and not that I am ever like confronted. But like you say, it's in the little things, it's the way that people talk to you.
It also depends, like sometimes you just generally like you're in this sort of mood where you're like, okay, like today I don't feel like taking any crap. And then some days you're like, okay, I'm gonna be chill about it. I also think it depends on the group of people that you're in. Because a lot of like friends or even family sometimes you're just like, okay, like I'll let it go kind of thing, because like it's that person.
Yeah, it's family, it's fine, they don't understand.
You know? So it's also sort of, I guess, you're trying to maintain sort of, I don't know, like friendship groups and relation-like groups, but still trying to like show like when people are being problematic or when they're sort of doing things that aren't necessarily like good. That's quite interesting.
I actually had an experience for Sunday. I had some friends over, and we're all good friends, like we've had it for years. And it was a good evening, we had some good discussions and whatever, and then late in the evening, one friend brought up that waitress in Cape Town that received all the donations and whatever, and asked our opinions on it, and I voiced my opinion, and then he got quite angry about what I had to say about it. And the discussion started building up in such a way that the things that they started saying were so problematic, but I was in no position where, like, I didn't have the energy, I didn't want to fight, like, I'm here to have, like, a decent conversation with my friends and have a good time. So I ended up just sitting there and being quiet because I just didn't want to, like, alienate my friends.
Yeah.
Because of the way that I'm opinionated, just like,
yeah,
it's
I
difficult.
think you get a lot of that. Yeah.
I know this is awkward.
Yeah, a little bit.
It depends though, it's like, it's interesting to see how like different people react, because I don't know, like most of the time it seems as though generally they're quite unaware of the camera, even though it is there, like you can't miss it, it's friggin' huge.
Yeah.
But then, I don't know, there's a lot of conversation going on, obviously. But yeah, it's always when it's like really close and in someone's face where they're like, why?
No, I'm chill. I'm just like, what must I do?
No, you don't have to do anything. Like, I'm not here to be like, okay, sit like that.
Yeah.
If you're like this, face there. I mean, it's just going to.
Yeah.
Like, you can get interesting or good pictures like that, but those pictures won't
They're not
relate.
real.
They're not real they would relate to, I guess, to the conversation that we're having. And it's, I guess real is a relative term. Even in the way that I am photographing now, even though I'm not really doing much directing, you are still aware of the fact that I'm photographing, and as such you're probably, or most likely, kind of behaving in a certain way. I don't know. Like it's everybody's like that. So no. Not everyone. I don't know. I know I'm like that. Whenever I see the cameras, I'm like,
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I think possibly the most interesting experiences of being queer in Stellenbosch is probably like actual sex. Like that is the most interesting thing in Stellenbosch.
so maybe just elaborate on that a little bit. In terms of like finding sex, or
Like the whole process, even finding a relationship, I guess, is the same. It's very interesting. Also, the kinds of people in Stellenbosch who are queer and looking for sex most of the time are people that are in the closet. I've noticed that.
that's very much a thing.
Yeah, that's interesting. And then also just when you are in relationships, and sort of you have to, it's not figuring out, but it's like also defining relationships, I guess.
Sex defines a relationship.
Not like that, but like even if just like you're in a relationship, and then a lot of the time you'll find that like people are still like hooking up outside of those relationships. Yeah. So I just find that interesting.
Well, it depends on the relationship.
That too, like definitely.
But it's interesting that you mentioned that a lot of the people in Stellenbosch that are like looking for sex but sex only are still closeted.
Yeah.
It's true. It scares me.
Why does it scare you?
Okay. So those situations differ greatly. You get people that are just not comfortable coming out yet. And that's interesting, but then you also get individuals that are quite angry about the fact that they are possibly gay or more queer or whatever. But then they act specifically in quite a kind of like angry way. I don't know, like it comes down to individual experiences, like, because you can never predict what any kind of situation would be like when you're meeting someone for the first time, and you've only had like a brief discussion with them on something like Grindr or Tinder or whatever.
Yeah, I think those first meetings are always very interesting. Like, I can say with certainty that I've only met 3 people in Stellenbosch.
Like off of something like Grindr, okay. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Oh, well, it's just general confusion on my face. No, there's actually... I can't find what I want to say.
You're trying to think of a number.
That's maybe it. But no, I don't actually... I haven't met that many people. Or have I? No, I haven't.
That's when you can't remember normally.
I can... Okay, if I actually sit here and I'll start like counting back, like who I've met, I could probably give you a number. It's not a big number. I guess that it is awkward because I'm not kind of making it known what those meetings were, whether it was just like a conversation or whether it was possibly
That's
something
interesting.
more.
What was your assumption?
Sorry?
What was your assumption?
Actually, just like a meeting, like face to face, like, hi, this is me in real life. It's good to meet you in real life.
Yeah.
Like that's the assumption that I made when you said you actually only met 3 people.
Yeah.
And I guess the reason why I got not awkward, I couldn't find a response is because I was like, okay, well, what difference does it make whether he's met
Online.
one person
Yeah.
or 25? There's no real difference. There it is. Okay, I find those meetings actually kind of special in a way.
Yeah.
It's weird, like because I think people they
all progress differently. They all are different people, different places, like all the time. So it's just a very, very interesting mix of events. And sometimes like it's awkward. Other times it's just like very, very easy to speak to people.
Yeah.
So I think that's what makes it all very unique and interesting and so special. But yeah, Carson's
What's wrong with this thing? Something is wrong with my camera.
we break it.
No, it's just like not wanting to release. Gosh, this will be a time for my camera to stop working. Anyways, yeah, I just find this meeting special because I think a lot of the time people tend to be quite open on something like Grindr because it's so completely removed
don't know who
from
it is.
kind of reality, where even though you're being completely honest, or even if you were to lie or kind of make up a story or whatever, that builds a certain expectation of the person that you're going to meet, and when you meet them, you kind of get to have this first experience of somebody that in some ways kind of very specific, very intimate details of them,
Yeah.
but you've never met them, like really meet them, and then on that first interaction it's kind of like it's awkward, but it's also kind of exciting because you're like, ooh,
Yeah.
what's gonna happen?
One more.
Maybe that's just me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I get you. It definitely makes sense that it's a whole mix of different emotions and sort of having to navigate knowing sort of sensitive information and then also sort of not knowing a lot at the same time. Because in many ways you're still finding out a lot about the person.
You are. I mean, it takes a while for people to like actually open up, and yes, it worked. It takes a while for people to be like sincerely open. It's one thing to just like state intimate details about yourself, but it's one thing to kind of really like say
sort
it
of
and
connect
share it
and
get that connection. I'm just thinking back now on people that I've met.
Mm-hmm.
And also the people that you stay in touch with. I guess
Afterwards is also
it's one thing kind of being able to kind of chat on the phone or whatever, but it's another thing actually being able to talk with someone. And I think a lot of the times when you meet someone for the first time, face to face, you just know, I don't know. We don't have really much in common. It's not going to work in terms of conversation. That's why I always find it, I don't want to say sad, it's a little sad.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say interesting, because that's such an open term. Interesting when people on Grindr are like, I'm looking for the one, I'm looking for a relationship, that. I just find that it's so presumptuous. Like, if you're going on there with the expectation of, like, you're going to meet someone. Like I've been there. I mean, a lot of people that use Grindr have been there, and it's just like you're just lining yourself up for a lot of sadness and disappointment. Yeah. It depends also like how people kind of interact with.
Yeah.
Stuff. I don't know. like how this turned into a whole discussion about Grindr. It's just
It's become an
Like I've told
important
you,
part
like,
of queer identity.
well, let's say like male queer identity,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
which is also
Nuance.
also becomes a little
It's problematic.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's called it gay. What can we call it nowadays? Anyway, never mind. It's just like I've told you before, I find it a really interesting space because of like different reasons, obviously, and the way that people use it.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. It's interesting because you sort of also just progress on Grindr almost as you go along. I think eventually people get to this sort of nihilistic, like, it's not there for love. It's just sort of for this quick thing. Like quick friendships, like even everything, like it's all sort of you speak to someone, like okay, cool, meet them perhaps once or twice, and then like done.
cool.
No
more
more talk again.
interaction.
Exactly.
Yeah. And the thing is, I think even that is fine if you can be honest about that and acknowledge the fact that we had this good conversation, but it's not really going further than this. I do like when that happens though, and then like 3 months later you get this random message from nowhere of like this person like, oh hi, let's hang out again, let's do something. And that's quite special. It's interesting that what's nice to know that somebody that you had a very kind of limited spent a limited time with.
Yeah.
You're kind of still in their memory or
Yeah.
Like I've done the same where I'm like, I wonder how's it going with whoever.
Yeah.
And then you contact them and you're like, oh, that's cool. It's fine.
It's interesting because I sort of moved away from the whole I'm looking for a relationship type thing. It's sort of very like, oh no, I'm just looking for anything. Like,
Exactly. I think in terms of I think the safest way to kind of engage with Grindr is that way. Not looking for something specific, but being open to most things.
Yeah.
Or open to whatever you're comfortable with. And being confident to voice that.
Yeah.
To state that. No. Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe. I could, yeah. So, yeah. It's just, some people are so aggressive on Grindr. I'm just like,
Yeah.
like, come on. Relax.
Yeah. I feel like everyone goes through certain phases though, so
They
I'm just
do.
like I allow people to just
You allow them.
be themselves. Express themselves as best as they want, basically. Yeah. I find it interesting.
It's, sorry, I'll say something now. Oh shit. Oops.
Why didn't you say it properly?
Maybe. So, the way that I photograph is strange. Like, I'm a very technical person. Like,
Okay.
I have done a lot of reading and research and like practical experience in terms of like technicalities of photography, and I can get very specific about that.
Okay.
But at the same time, I can be kind of so fluid in the way that I work that I try to be very loose about the technical aspects. So, and because I'm shooting film, there is more room to play.
Okay.
It's just funny every now and again when I realize I'm like, oh shit, what did I do? And I just like hope for the best. Usually there's always something. There's always something.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just.
Do you edit film? Are you able to?
Yeah. So the way in which I work, like, it's very much based in. So I work both. Okay. It's based in analog processes. So I'm shooting film with a medium format camera, which means that, like, where's my thingy? That's not for me. So I think when you think of film, you think of like the long thin strip with like little sprocket holes in one row.
Yeah.
And the tiny frames, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, so that's 35. This is medium format. So
Okay.
like the actual negative is that size of the frame.
Okay.
So I'm capturing a lot of detail, which is quite nice. So yeah, there is a lot of room to play with. There's like an editing process in terms of selection, but then also there's an editing process in terms of the way that the image looks or reads or whatever. You can actually do quite a bit
Okay.
in the darkroom in terms of how you adjust certain things. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Like I can really get into it and explain the whole process, but then I'm gonna like start from like beginning all the way to the end. But yeah. What am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. Would you mind maybe moving to a different spot?
Okay.
I do like this corner,
Oh, you could go on it too.
but you know, there's something about the chair that makes me. That's nice. I don't know why. It's just a nice chair.
Oh, this chair.
Yeah. Well, actually, you don't have to sit there.
That's fine.
Kinda
I actually
awesome.
enjoy sitting here.
It's a nice corner chair.
Actually clean for a change.
What, this space?
Yeah.
Did you clean it?
I did. Yeah. My bed is about as thingy. But it's usually just like madness. Swamp. The only thing I like about the chair is that it catches the sun.
Yeah.
And
But
it
how's
gets
it-
really warm.
But it's different now from summer, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because I guess it gets amplified because of the window. This is leather, so kind of like plastic leather.
Yeah.
Although we took this out of one of the kitchens.
So it's actually like the Rez's chair.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's interesting. So, one of my friend MG who just came down,
Yeah.
so he usually falls asleep on one of people's beds, either Ansel, that's my roommate.
He seems really interesting.
He is quite interesting.
And he seems, I don't know, there's something about him that seems quite fun.
Yeah. Very. So he ends up either falling asleep on my bed or Ansel's bed. So we're like, no, get you the chair. And we got the chair for him. So this is where he sleeps.
On the chair.
Falls asleep on the chair.
Aw. That's sweet.
Yeah.
It looks
Trying not to pose.
No, it looks like I'm taking a portrait for a writer who's having his first book published. Like the desk lamp over your shoulder.
wow.
And you're like sitting here like,
Yes. No.
I know things.
I actually wanted to write I said I wanted to write a book, like not a book, I wanted to write a paper.
Okay.
On exactly
Well,
the
trust me,
things.
you're gonna write quite a lot of them. Well, I mean like a proper like research article
Yeah.
on a paper.
I wanted, yeah.
But I mean, just the way that you speak, it sounds like you're very much interested in maybe staying in the academics or like doing research.
Maybe for a little while, and then I'll go off and do politics. I'm actually more into politics than I am academics.
Okay.
Also, I just don't have the discipline for academics. I don't think.
That's my problem. So- No, I can, in terms of my practice, like I'm committed, like I'm really committed, like I can keep on working and
Yeah.
making work and do that forever.
Yeah.
I wish that's all you needed to kind of stay in academics, but unfortunately you have to be a bloody researcher, and although I find research very interesting, I loathe writing.
Yeah.
It's not that I can't write,
Yeah.
but for me it's a very painful process of like endless procrastination, so I have to start ridiculously early in terms
Yeah.
of writing to allow myself the majority of the day to procrastinate.
That's the thing. For me, I can write something within hours. Like literally, I can write something in 4 hours and it will still be relatively good.
Yeah,
I'm just
that's how I used to work. Like, I'll basically start the evening before,
Yeah,
don't sleep, churn out this thing,
yeah.
and it's okay. It's painful. It's not nice.
Exactly. So I don't think I could like stay in academia for a while. Like I might probably do masters or something, but like long term staying, teaching, churning out paper on paper on paper, writing books.
Yeah, no.
Unless I could tell other people to do it, I guess. That would be fun.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about my mother, who's so hopeful that I don't know, for some reason she thinks that I'd be able to get a position at university teaching, and I actually really like teaching, but I'm just like, I'm not doing my master's just yet. I don't even think I want to do a master's. I want to give it some time.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're going into masters, you really need to do it with intent and like really know what you want to say. Because she's gonna kill me for this. But a good friend of mine, I've been giving her so much shit. She's we work together quite a lot. We share the same studio space.
Okay.
And she's going directly into her master's next year, which I'm like, okay, that's good. Like, it's good that you're ambitious and whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't think she doesn't know what she like wants to do yet, or how to approach, I guess, the real world.
Yeah.
So she's like, I'm just gonna stay in academics for now and do my master's and whatever. I'm like, okay, cool, good luck with that. It's just like I feel it's a little premature to like immediately after you graduate. You're like, okay, cool, I'm gonna do my master's now. On the one hand, it's good because you're still in that like mind frame of like working in a specific way and doing research and whatever. But then I also feel like you maybe need to live a little, get different kind of experiences.
I get you. But maybe sometimes you just wanna like, that's your life, like.
True. I don't know. I'm mostly just teasing her.
I know. I figure. Yeah. No, but ultimately, I guess it's hard.
Sorry, I couldn't hear anything with the car.
No, I was saying that sort of my ultimate aim is to become the president.
Hey, Kerwin for president.
Yeah, that's the life goal. So I guess everything is.
That's really cool.
Towards ending up there.
It's always like, I'm thinking about it now, how as a kid, like our parents or family members or whatever kind of like joke with this idea of like, yeah, you should be president one day or whatever, and it's very playful and whatever. But I think you're the first person that I've actually like met or spoken to that like, you know what, I want to be president. Like I want to do that. I want to work to get there. Good, like best of luck. Like how do you even approach that?
Well, for most people it's quite simple. Become a middle-aged man, get good friends, and then get the job eventually. No, I'm kidding. Some have actually done a lot. It depends. There are different ways of approaching it. There are easier routes and there are less easy routes, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the hard way and then there's the hard and long and lots of effort, and then there's the very chill or less intense. But each of them have setbacks. Like, yeah, politics is possibly one of the most messy professions or jobs. So it's trying to navigate and stay out of all of that mess. That's sort of my hardest issue.
Yeah. So I'm not very informed on South African politics. Like, I guess I know as much as the next person who doesn't spend a lot of time reading on it or whatever.
Yeah.
And I tend to, yes, I vote, and obviously have an opinion, but I tend to disassociate myself from a lot of the media coverage on politics, because I can't.
Yeah.
It's like you said, it is quite messy, and I think the thing in South Africa, it's visually messy. Like you can see the mess. Where maybe in like other countries, the mess is more like under the table.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not something I could talk about because I don't know. So.
Yeah. I don't think you really have to know that much about it, but like, yeah, it's just one of the most interesting things that I find at least.
I'm going to. We have to take one more picture. But I want to take a picture of your hands. Like, I really like your hands. They're interesting.
Okay.
You're constantly. I don't know if it's because you're always like that or because of the situation where you're kind of like keeping yourself busy with your hands or
I'm always
whatever.
busy with my hands.
It's just like the way that you kind of treat them or play with them.
Yeah,
it's nice.
It's weird because last night someone was telling me also that I like seem nervous, but it's really just.
You don't seem nervous at all. If anything, it might be that you seem like you're. Even though you're present and you're talking about specific things, it also seems like you're also thinking of something distant.
That's another thing that someone said last night at a conversation.
And not that it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
I'm the same. Like, I can be quite invested in a conversation.
Yeah.
But this is more speaking to like my friends that I see every day or whatever. I tend to kind of just, I'll be agreeing with what they're saying, but then my mind drifts to something completely different.
No shame. It's just, that's
just the way it is.
When I am speaking and thinking to people, I tend to sort of seem drift offy, I guess. That's just because that's how I like think and work effectively. Yeah.
Yep. Alright, let me sit here.
Okay.
What am I doing? Do you mind moving your hands more to like into the sunlight?
Okay.
Yeah. And I think I want to talk a bit with you so that you can be relaxed again and not be too aware of your hands.
Yeah.
So.
I'm inside.
Who's at this side? Another person. Hi.
Hey.
Okay, sorry.
What's up?
No, just checking if you're around.
Oh, yeah, I came to your room. You want?
Yeah.
I'll come later. Bye.
Hi.
Leland. He's my other friend, yeah.
Okay. Were you speaking about him earlier?
Him and MG.
or-
Yeah.
Okay.
He's MG went to him early on. After
Oh,
he came
okay.
to call me. Yeah.
Oh, these nails. They're pretty. They're so shiny.
They used to be before they chipped. Thanks to that.
I was actually like last week.
Yeah.
I really wanted to go for like a full manicure because my nails are in a terrible state. Like they're cut skew and my cuticles are all kinds of weird. But I'm like, I don't have money.
Well, you have really good friends.
Yeah.
Who happen to know how to do nails.
I could-
Actually.
But just that's where I get weird. Where I'm like, okay, so even though I might have a friend that is good at it or skilled or whatever,
Yeah.
I kind of want to go to a place that's maybe more official because then I feel like I'm getting the real treatment. I'm not. It's not that I'm hung up on stuff like that
Yeah.
usually. It's especially maybe when it's something that's new or
Okay.
whatever. Like when I cut my hair, I'm very specific about.
Well,
Like
yeah.
I go to the same
Same
hairdresser.
place.
I went to her for like the past 4 or 5 years now,
Yeah.
and it took forever to find her. I'm not letting go of that.
I get that. That's fine. I'm picky, but less picky, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on sort of the situation or the thing that it is or whatever. Like, it's very situational, I guess. It's like I'm not sure.
Yeah. I don't know. It's mostly. I think it's mostly my mother. And even though she's very comfortable with me being gay, and like I mentioned before that I do drag sometimes.
Yeah.
And from the first time that I went out in drag, I was very like I told my mother, I was like, yes, I'm going out, I'm doing this, like, you know, whatever. And she's like, okay, whatever. Because I was like, you know what, I'm out, I might as well.
Yeah.
I'm just, I need to be completely open about this, and I don't like having to hide things.
Yeah.
It makes me uncomfortable, and whatever. So, and then the more I got into it, the more excited I got about it, because it's genuinely fun. I don't know if you've ever done it. Like, if you ever get the chance, please try it. It's amazing. It's like not the most, but it's like, it's incredibly liberating. It's cathartic. It's so empowering. Yeah, but I guess everyone has their own experience of that.
Obviously.
But then
I'm just like the work before.
but so worth it. Anyways, and then the more I got into it, the more I started speaking about it with my mom, and then I could see that she started like not being comfortable with it. And she had a little bit of a freak. I was like, I don't understand this. Why do you want to be a woman? I'm like, no, I don't want to be a woman. Like, it's not about that. Like, yes, there are like, okay, so makeup is necessarily designed for women. That it isn't, but it's how it's been used. It's how it's been appropriated. It's like under clothing and whatever. It's so she had a freak out session, and she's like, you know, I don't want to see this. So I tend to be not careful, but just mindful about how much, like, how much I kind of engage with something like that.
Yeah.
I've been playing around with the idea of like wanting to wear nail polish for quite a while, and I don't know why. It's probably just because I've been really attracted to the color blue for like the majority of this year, and I want blue nails. I don't know why, but I want blue nails.
Yeah.
But then like if I paint my nails blue, my mom's just gonna be like, oh, why?
Yeah.
Why, son of mine?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Sometimes you just have to do what you feel like doing.
Yeah, and I do that actually all the time. But for some reason, lately I've been, not lately, most of the time,
Yeah.
it's just like, I don't want to make my mother too uncomfortable, because I understand that she has a different worldview than what I have. She has a different understanding of gender than what I do. And even though I don't agree with the way that she understands it or her opinions on that, it's just because that's how she was brought up.
Yeah.
And I can recognize that it's difficult for her to understand it in the way that I do. And it's not that, so even the way her understanding is problematic, it's not that it's intentionally harmful or hateful or whatever. It's just, it's that generation, and
Yeah.
I've had this conversation so many times where, on the one hand, we shouldn't conform to a certain way so that other people are comfortable with our queerness. We shouldn't. But then, in some instances, I feel like we should be, I'm always aware of fact that they might not be as informed or have that understanding, and sometimes you do need to, in a way, dumb it down,
Yeah.
or just kind of express you in a way that they
They can
understand.
understand. It
My
makes
mother
sense.
can understand gay man.
Yeah.
That makes sense to her. She can relate to that.
Yeah.
She knows how to respond to that. But as soon as I kind of start phrasing it in the kind of specifics of it,
Yeah.
then it's like,
Wow.
what?
Yeah.
I'm actually done shooting. I've got like one frame left. Oh yeah, just take a picture of his face. So
Okay.
it's I've started doing this thing where at the end of like the discussion,
Yeah.
I tend to take a picture of his face. I don't know why. It's nice.
It's just nice.
It's like it also situates the conversation, contextualizes it, even though like yeah, whatever.
It's fine. It's interesting. It looks sort of like a place that was meant to be looking like that.
I don't usually have this much trouble with my camera. It's being troublesome today. I'm still trying to find a name for this thing. I can't name it. I want to name it, but I can't. I feel like it should
What
have a
would you
name.
name it?
It's just like it's such a
We actually name everything in this room
yeah. Like
before
what?
they break.
Before they break.
Yeah.
Like what?
Well, we have Freddy the fan because, yeah, he
Freddy?
really broke. It's Freddy. And then we've got Fatima, who's the fridge. Yeah. What was the kettle? We named the kettle something because the kettle somehow flew out the window.
How does that happen? They were like friends over.
Well, there were engineers in the room, so I don't know. It was funny. So
we
we
can
went.
make this thing more efficient. Let's throw out the window and see what happens.
No, we literally went out of the room for about 2 minutes. No, like 5 minutes. Came back and then like flew out. Literally, the wind just blew it out the window. So yeah.
I find Red Life so interesting. Like I've never been in a residency.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's like. But I think being constantly surrounded by people that you're kind of friendly with, and this idea of somebody just being able to kind of walk into your room and be like, oh hey,
Yeah.
I need to share this really important but actually not important detail at all with you right now that's important, like you need to know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I guess I'm used to it because I've been in the hostel and then it's just sort of a natural progression.
Yeah. And just knowing myself and how I can kind of relate to people and how long it takes to kind of feel comfortable in a space.
Yeah.
I think it'll take so long to adjust to being in this kind of living environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks that initially and then you realize not so bad.
It's not that I think it's bad, it's just different.
Yeah, readjusting.
Well, I'm done taking pictures, unless you still want to keep talking, we can talk, but yeah.
No, it's chill. If you want to leave, then you can.
I don't know, it depends on the time. I need to see my friends at I need to be there at 12.
that's true.
Actually dreading listening to this recording.
Why?
There's gonna be so much like just cars driving past and like missing conversation.
It's fine, you can make it up.
I'm always hopeful though. It's like there has to be something. So, oh, I wanted to ask. You said tomorrow's Thursday, right? Yeah. You said you're free tomorrow as well. Because I'm going to process these pictures today
Okay.
and make like the kind of thumbnail contact sheet thing. And if we could maybe meet tomorrow for like half an hour,
Sure.
just to go through that. If not, we can do it next week sometime as well.
Either or is chilled for me. Let me just check. Next week is June, right?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, it's fine. Didn't put out a June sheet today. Yeah, no, it should be fine.
Okay. I thought it might be better to get it done as quick as possible.
I am open tomorrow for all of the day. I think that's at about 5. And then next week I am free until Thursday. And then, so Tuesday, Wednesday.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. But I'll it depends on how things go today and tomorrow morning.
So chill.
I'll
Take
let
your
you know.
time if you must. It's very relaxed. I'm here until the 8th, so
I need to like sort these things out. Everything in next week. Although I'm quite relaxed about the whole process. I tend to be quite relaxed. I think I'm actually going to leave now
Sure.
and go sort out some other things.